Hey, let's start with the wide shot, Mel. There we go. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go 5.
Nope. Yep, the wide one. You had it right. Yep.
Come on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Peace. Welcome back to the Voices of Reason show. I'm your host, Skilo Slim. And today we got a very motivating, very aspirational young brother with us today. I'm so glad he came because it's a little bit of snow on the ground and people get nervous when it's a little bit of snow. They don't show up. But bro was here on time, so I appreciate him coming through.
What's up, bro?
Man? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
How you doing? Doing good, man. Go ahead, introduce yourself to everybody, bro.
I'm Terrell Mckinney. I'm running for the state legislature here in Nebraska for District 11.
Okay. Yeah. So what areas is District 11 covering?
District 11 covers 48 to like Carter Lake and then California to about Reddick.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in there. I'm in there. So what made you want to get into politics? Has this been a long time coming, or?
I never wanted to. Get into politics, but I started working as an organizer in the community, helping out with different nonprofits, and just starting to realize that somebody from my generation had to step up and start going towards politics, because the individuals that we got in office right now are older, and it's like, who's gonna start stepping up and trying to do what they build on what they've done.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you see yourself bringing that's new or different?
Youth into the legislature, I think, is needed. I also think the legislature needs somebody with my perspective that grew up in North Omaha, that went through the things that I went through inside the legislature to affect change.
Right. So what's some of those things that you need, if you don't mind sharing with us?
So growing up, we was poor. I
can relate.
I mean, it's like, it sounds cliche coming from the black community, but we lived in the projects and things like that, so we saw the struggles of our community, so the violence, the no lights, no water, things like that, so that's what I bring.
Right. Yeah. That's a special perspective.
Right.
Because it seems like a lot of people in the legislature, they don't relate to those things. Like, a lot of times, that's how I feel. Like, they don't really.
They don't. I be watching it, and I be like, these dudes like sound like they still living in 1950.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock nobody, but I was watching a thing the other day about the hair thing, and it's like they just like did not get it.
No.
Like, they did.
It's like, why do we need this? I'm like, what do you mean?
Right. Like this really happens to people. Like it's crazy. But then that's the thing of never being the other.
Right.
You know. So it's like it's an interesting perspective. So you just like set up one day and was like, I'm gonna just run for legislature. Like, what was that thought process like?
So I was aware that Senator Chambers' term was gonna end.
Right.
This session. So I was thinking, like, it was brought up to me one day, and I was like, oh, maybe not. But I always was telling myself, like, I'm never going to politics. I never want to be a politician. But then I started to sit with myself and started to think about it more, like, what I'm gonna do next? Like, how can I actually be effective within our community? And I've just realized that as an organizer, there's a ceiling, and until we start like, for example, like, you could be working on an issue, protesting it, but if you don't know the laws and the policies behind it, how can you really affect change? Right. And I wanted to start affecting the laws and the policies that we are outraged about every week.
Right. Yeah, that is you're right about that, because you can protest all you want, but if you don't know how to get the law changed or get a law created.
Right. If you're not in those rooms, it's hard.
Right. Has it been hard to get into that system? Like, because, it seems like everybody knows everybody, and it's like a certain, like, scratch my back, I scratch your back thing. Is it hard to get involved with that?
I wouldn't say it's been hard. I just kind of, in a way, just stuck to what I know and just me and my circle of friends and whatever. So, I mean, if I'm invited, I'm invited. If I'm not, I'm not. That's how I feel right now. Like, I'm going to still push forward. Whether I win or not, I'm going to still do what I'm trying to do within our community.
Right.
So if those doors open up, they open up. If they don't, I'm going to still be out here.
Yeah, that's all we can do. You're right about that. But we're going to say when you win.
Right.
Because
Right.
I mean, I seen some of the stuff that you doing right now, and it's like I don't know who else is running or nothing. I don't know, but it seems like you really got your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the community right now. So what's like one of the main things that you would want to see happen?
One of the main things is economic equity within our community, especially. I believe we gotta focus on building up our small businesses and our entrepreneurs so they can get resources and get access to different infrastructure so they can be sustainable. So our people don't gotta go to West Omaha to go get a job. You don't gotta you could go right around the corner and go to work. That's not happening right now in North Omaha.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about that. Because if you're looking for a job right now, if you're like, I just want to find somewhere north and just walk to work, it's like.
And if you can, they're not paying you.
Yeah, they're not
what
paying
you should be
enough.
paid.
Yeah, it's
so
like a couple companies that's I could think of, but like the buses don't even really run where they're at.
right. So that, and then I also want to focus on transforming the criminal justice system because it's affected our community the most throughout this whole state. It's probably affected you, me. I think every black person has been affected by the criminal justice system, and it's not just black people. It's Native American people. It's Latinos. It's all of us. But until somebody gets in, I know Senator Chambers has been working on it since he's been in the legislature, and I want to build on that. That's my plan. I'm gonna build on it and start pushing some more different new ideas to try to get that change happen.
Yeah.
So just looking at sentencing discrepancies, trying to lower the mandatory minimums, making probation and parole less punitive. I don't think nobody should be on parole or probation for more than 5 years. And 5 years to me is a stretch because it's really just setting you up for failure.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time, man, and it's hard. Like,
It is.
I mean, cause some of the rules, some of the things that I see, it's real hard for people. You know, like I got a friend of mine right now that's stuck on probation, and it's like they took his driver's license.
How you gonna get to work?
How's he gonna get to work? He got 2 jobs.
Right.
But it's like now he's struggling because it's like you leaning on your support system so much and for so long that they kind of get tired of supporting you.
Right.
You know, so it's like, what's he supposed to do? And then if he doesn't work, he goes back to jail.
Go back to jail.
And it's like, I don't understand. So that would be nice to see that kind of change a little bit. So what's exactly is the role of that legislation? Like
A legislature, so the job of a senator is to like try to pass legislation, address bad legislation, good and bad legislation, and look at different state laws and things like that that may need to be changed. And then also, they should be communicating with the people to figure out what do they think need to be done within the community, and then write up some legislation and try to get it passed.
Right. Okay, yeah, because I want to make sure that the younger people who watch us got that clear understanding of what all these roles mean, because like when I became old enough to vote, the only person that I knew about was Ernie Chambers.
Right.
Like my mom told me, she took me to vote my first time, and she was like, just make sure you vote for Ernie Chambers. And I was like, all right. And then when I went in there, it was like all these other people and all this other stuff, and I didn't know like what none of that meant.
Right.
So I just was like, I'm not gonna even lie, I kind of just was like, that name sounds cool. Like that, I probably voted for people that was like,
No, the first time I voted was when Obama ran the first time. So I got in there, I was like, I know I'm voting for Obama. Then I got down, I was like, I don't know.
yeah, for real, that's how it was. And then it's like OPPD, board,
Right.
like regents, like all of this stuff, and I'm like, what's a bond? You know what I mean? And it was like, and that's why I really appreciate you coming, because it seemed like it's a disconnect, like especially like from like our generation and younger, where it's like we don't feel a part of politics, and a lot of people just completely drop out.
I think it's because for years we've had politicians come into our community and give these big promises like, oh, vote for me, we're gonna change this, vote or die, and all this stuff. It's like, bro, like stop coming in line, be real. Come in and say, I need you to vote for me so I can change these policies. This might not take effect into your life for like 3 to 5 years though, but you need to start doing it now. They come in with a right now approach, a short term thinking of, you need to vote now so you can change this. It's not realistic.
Yeah. That's the key, that's the thing. You're right, because you think everything's gonna change.
Right, and then when you look at North Omaha, it's like, how could you really trust politicians right now? Because honestly, it looks worse than it was when I was a kid. Like, houses keep getting knocked down, businesses keep closing. It's like, what is there to look for?
Right, I can definitely relate to that, because that's exactly how I feel. Like, I remember back to when I was a kid, and this is like the early '90s. You know, I'm 35 right now, and it's like, okay, like of all those businesses that was on 24th, like all those little diners,
Right.
and different things, it's like all of that's gone, and it's like, what's happening? You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
it's buildings that's been closed since I was a kid. It's like that building is still closed.
I be riding around, I be like, what used to be there? Like, why is that? Like, what's inside there? And it just sit there. I'm like, who owns it? And then when you look at who owns it, it's like people that don't even live in North Omaha or even live in the state,
Right.
which is a huge problem in itself.
Yeah, and it's like they don't even care.
Right.
It's like they waiting for, I don't know what they waiting for. Like,
Gentrification.
yeah, that's it.
Sitting on land.
Sitting on the land, yeah, man. Because I mean, I'm a small business owner myself, and it's like that's the main thing that concerns me. Like when I first started the journey, was like how much red tape and how hard it is to actually just to get to that point of opening the doors.
Right.
It's like it's permits and it's like regulations, and you got to deal with this group of people and that group of people, and it's like, it's like very hard, especially if you're not, like if you don't have someone to walk you through that process.
It's difficult, which is why I think a lot of businesses from our people end up failing, because there's nobody there to walk them through the steps, and there's no set procedures like, look, you establish your LLC, then you gotta do this, then you gotta do this. It's like, most people like, I'm gonna start an LLC, but then they don't understand the back end stuff. Like, you just registering for LLC is not, it's like the beginning. It's the
That's really like the last thing that you could do.
Right.
I mean, not really, but it's not that, like you said, it's a lot of other stuff you gotta do. Like I learned about the permits and like the plumbing commission. I never heard of them.
right.
Like shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me, but it's like it's nothing in there. Cause see, I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, if we gonna like, if we say, let's open up a detail shop, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find all the laws, all the rules, whatever it is, and I'm gonna read all of that.
Yep.
And then what I found out in Omaha is it's stuff that's outside of these laws and these rules. And it's like, okay, well, for this part, you have to talk to them.
Yep.
And it's like, that's nowhere in here. Like, of these 80 pages, it doesn't mention them once. But it's like the decision rests on their shoulders. And it's like, I don't understand like why it's like that or what the process will be to change it. But I just know that it creates a big hurdle. Like a lot of people, I was having this discussion with a friend of mine. He was talking about the people who sell plates out of their house and stuff
Right.
like that. I was telling him, like, do you know how hard it is to open a restaurant in Omaha? Like, you got to have a lot of money. Like, well, you don't have to have a lot of money, but it's better to have a lot of money.
It is.
Like, I don't have money. I didn't have enough to start, but I don't care because I'll live under a bridge if I have to. Like, that's just my attitude, So is these the type of things that you will be able to address and to help relieve, or is that more of a city council thing?
I think it's a combination of city council and legislature. I'll try as much as possible within my duties to try to change those things.
Right.
Because I think even if I can't directly affect something, I think I should at least use my title or my office to talk to the people that need to be talked to try to get those things changed. I'm not gonna just limit myself just to Lincoln, because I just think our community needs more.
Yeah, I agree. People need that sense of hope. That's what's really, to me, that's what's really needed. It's like, okay, somebody's gonna fight for us, somebody that we could support, because that's the thing that I worry about. It's like somebody coming who's not really genuinely, they don't really care about the people.
Right.
It's like they're not really, because everybody's not one of us. Like, and when I say one of us, I mean a person who's been poor, who's striving to do better.
Right.
Like a lot of people, they don't relate to that struggle.
No, and then some people, when you hear them talk, you be like, bro, like you just so out of touch. Like,
Yeah. Really, for real.
like, where you been at?
Yeah, man, that's how it is. I hear people because, since we do the show, it's like a lot of people who come and they want to run and they want to talk to me and get my opinions and
Yeah.
take pictures or whatever. And that's the main thing I tell them is like, you gotta really be with the people. You gotta really be for the people. You know what I'm saying? Before I asked you to come on the show, I talked to other people who I trusted in the community. It was like, hey, is he a good dude? Is he genuine? This and this and that. And you can't go off of what other people say. But if I ask 20 people and they be like, nah, man, that dude's a dirtbag.
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay, maybe he is. But when you hear good things, it's like you can tell. And when you pay attention to people, you can tell. So it's like that's why I wanted you to come so that everybody else can see that too.
No, I try to tell people like, man, like, I'm not your traditional, whatever you want to call it, politician. I'm honestly community dude. I put my community first before anything. That's why I'm running, because I want to make sure that we straight. I don't want to get to 50 and then just look back at the community like, dang, I failed my daughter or our kids, because that's who it's about. We supposed to be setting the foundation for them, so when they grow up, they don't got to fight the same battles that we fighting right now.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's definitely what it's all about, because it's like it's real easy. It seems like it's real easy for people to forget the poor working people.
It is.
And that's the main thing. Like I tell people about that all the time. Is like North Omaha is not just black people.
It's not.
It's like poor working people. Even growing up, it was like it was very diverse in our neighborhoods.
Because even before walking around, I'm seeing more than just our people. I'm seeing Latinos, Asians, Native American. It's a
everybody.
mix.
Yeah.
But you only hear like only black people live down there, which is a myth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's even white people.
Yeah, it's a lot of white people. I grew up with. I had a bunch of white friends that lived around the corner, and it was like our condition was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like we all shared everything. Like we didn't have enough. Like that's just how it was. And then it's like that get lost in politics. I feel like sometimes because it's like people try to just make it seem like it's all this or it's all that, but it's like really it's all working and poor people where I'm from.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I would like to see people address more. And I felt like that's what I felt when I like paid attention to you, was like it's about the people in an area.
Because at the end of the day, none of us could do anything without the people.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna win without people voting for me, and I'm not gonna survive without people supporting me and I'm doing the right things for the people.
Right.
That's why I say, like, I'm for the people. Like, at the end of the day, hold me accountable. I could take the criticism. If you feel like I'm stepping out of bounds, call me. Right. Walk up to me. I'm going to answer that question. Tell me when I'm wrong. That's what we got to get back to. I don't want to be in office and feel like you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's a lot of people in these offices that when they get asked a tough question, they get defensive and tell people that they don't know what they're talking about or dismiss them completely.
Yeah, you see that a lot. You see that a lot. People don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that criticism. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of things that happens in the politics that I just don't understand. And that's like, again, that's why I wanted you to come here, because it's like take the veil down.
Right.
Like get to see a person. Like, who are they? You know what I mean? Like, I never really heard a lot of your story. So it's like talking to you now is like, okay, we got a lot in common,
Yeah, and another thing I'm definitely going to address once I'm in Lincoln is education. I think education is a big thing. Our kids aren't being pushed to reach the moon. They're being pushed to reach not even the clouds right now. Like, you could graduate high school with like a D minus, and they pushing them out saying we got high graduation rates, when in truth that's a lie, because when you look at the college graduation rates, it's the lowest in the state. So that's the problem. It's kids, because I coach wrestling at North, and I see kids walking around. It's like, bro, like, this dude got all Fs, but ain't nobody stepping in to help him out. They just like, oh, he just here. Don't worry about him.
Right. Like, he's here, so at least he's here.
Right.
Of thing. Like,
it's like, dude, like, that's not helpful for none of us, because it's when this dude go kill somebody in 2 years and y'all say you're a bad kid, don't say you're a bad kid when you didn't step in and try to help him out when he needed it.
Yeah. You're right about that because the system can fail you, and that's an unfortunate thing right there. Because I see a lot of people like that. They're like not engaged, and it's it's tough on.
And people try to like, oh, it starts at home. Yeah, it starts at home. But when I send my kid into your school, I expect you to teach my kid and build on whatever I was supposed to teach them. If I'm not stepping up, that's where you step up.
Right.
At least as far as making sure they're getting a proper education.
Yeah, definitely. So how could people support you?
You can vote for me May 12th. I don't even know how all that's about to work out. I think they'll still have a primary, but because of this COVID-19 stuff, it's a lot of stuff up in the air. But vote May 12th. You can support me, follow me on Facebook, Terrell Mckinney, LD11. Visit my website, People for Terrell Mckinney. You can donate, it's a donate button. I try to post something every day about my campaign, and I always leave a donation link because a lot of this stuff you need, buy walk cards and things like that, yard signs for the campaign just to survive.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got to have that. You got to be visible, right?
Yeah.
That's like the main thing to me. Like you got to know because so many times I don't know what's going on until it's time to vote. And it's like, I didn't really see this person. It's like, who are they? Like, where did they come from? What do they stand for?
You see it, you're going to see it a lot more. It's a lot of people like, dude, like, then they be saying like, oh, I work in the community. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I do everything, but I mean, I've at least been active in the community.
Yeah.
Like people have seen me. I'm not just popping up, not walking out my door saying, hey, vote for me now.
Yeah. You're right. And I'll say it because I can say it. Like, I'm not voting for people just because they black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. Like, I don't care. Like, if I feel like that, just because you black, that don't mean, like I said, I have a very special, I feel like, circumstances in my life. And that was that I'm from a poor working class family. And I understand what that means. And my issue that I have with a lot of times when I meet black people who's running, they try to come at me as if they're the same as me, just because we black. But it's like you have a lot of privilege because you come from, you're from the suburbs. So you don't get to just be like, just because it's cool to be black. Like I remember getting made fun of by people like you, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, what have you done to change that? Like, what do you do to be engaged with us?
And you could tell when it's genuine and not genuine. You could just, the certain things and mannerisms that they do, like, bro, like you didn't, like you just here pandering, trying to get a vote. Like you really ain't real. It's not genuine.
Right. Like you don't have to be that. You know what I mean?
No, be yourself.
Be yourself.
If you didn't grow up like I grew up, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I don't really care. You know,
right.
Like I said, we had diversity growing up, so I could deal with everybody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, again, let's give, before we run out of time, just like anything that you want people to know about you and where they can reach you, just let them know again.
I want people to know that when you think about voting this election, vote for somebody that's for the people, somebody that's gonna stand on the front line with you through the good and the bad, somebody that's gonna fight for your kids, fight for our elderly, and fight for our community to ensure that we could take it into the future. That's me. Visit my website, peopleforterrellmckinney.com. Follow me on Facebook, Terrell McKinney LD11. If you got Twitter, T_McKinney 2020. Instagram, Terrell M. McKinney. And just thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
Oh yeah, man, I appreciate you.
No problem.
Man. Definitely, man. I appreciate you stepping out there and putting yourself on the line in that way. Because it is, it can be scary to just jump out there, you know. But we need that inspiration, you know what I'm saying? My babies, all our babies in the community need to see somebody striving, you know what I mean, from where we from. So I just appreciate you for doing that, you know what I mean? And I hope everything go well for you. I think it's May 12th, right?
Yep, May 12th.
May 12th, yeah. We'll make sure this air before then so that people can come out and support. So yeah, like we come again to the end of the show, you know what I mean? I'm gonna just say get active. You know what I mean? Like it's our community, it's our future that's at risk. So like you see what bad leadership can get you. You know what I mean? Bad leadership can get you being unprepared, have you out there. You don't know what's going on. Like right now, people are afraid of something that I thought was a Democratic hoax. That's what I was told. But now it seems like it's not.
It's
so
real.
Yeah, it's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a group of people, a large group. I was on a call yesterday. I believe we're gonna get on a call tomorrow or today to try to build a communication plan for the community to make sure people getting the information that they need.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get bad before it get better.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen a lot of people say sometimes, I'm like, it just hasn't hit us yet, like other cities. It's gonna hit us.
Yeah. So I go, man. We live in a global world, so you gotta be ready to deal with some global problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But again, bro, I appreciate you coming
problem,
out, man.
bro.
Thank you, man. And yeah, y'all go out, y'all support, you know what I'm saying? Find out some more if you need more information, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Beautiful. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. See, that was easy, right?